Uh, Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I'm very happy to be here today to introduce you to Natty Mark Samuels, who is the founder and the force behind the African School Mobile Library in Oxford. And the tagline is African Studies by Bicycle. So Natty Mark, I wonder if you could tell us about, I'm actually sitting in the library right now, even though it's a mobile library. This is the home of the library. Please, thank you so much for giving us time.
Bless you, Carly.
And please tell us about your mobile library.
Okay, so this is something that started off during COVID. I was kind of apprehensive that the African studies provision that I've been providing was going to come to a halt. So I love cycling and obviously I love books. So I just put the two together and came up with the idea of the African School Mobile Library. So people would contact me, we'd have a discussion, the book or books would be decided on, and then I'd cycle around that to the house and either leave the book under the mat or through the letterbox. And that was for people all over Oxford, as far as Botley, but mainly people from Headington and Blackbird Leys. Yeah.
So, Natty Mark, tell us about who do you lend to? Is it mostly children or is it adults
mainly, mainly adults, as far as the general community is concerned. But because I work in schools, then I lend books to the students as well.
And tell us so the audience for this interview are academics, mostly early career academics.
Okay.
Could you tell us how we could support your project, how we could be helpful to you? Is there anything, resources you would need or books you might need?
A library always needs more books, and mine is burgeoning and kind of expanding. But any support that I could get with books, especially as far as art and folklore is concerned, will be much appreciated. So that's kind of, I guess, the way that academia could support me the best, I think.
And can you, perhaps, I know this is a topic you've given a lot of thought. Could you say something about the school syllabus debates? Or have you, do you not think about it in that way? Do you think...
Yeah, I mean, kind of, when I first set up the African School in 2009, part of the reason was there was a lot of debate going on concerning black boys who were failing in secondary school education. They were doing well at the primary level. When they got into the secondary sector, there was a certain academic failure. So that was one of the reasons why I set up African School. And basically, my dream has been to kind of have African studies as part of a cultural education package, because obviously it's still something that's lacking at school, just to give a more balanced telling of the African stories and the Caribbean stories. You know, it still tends to be very kind of Eurocentric, and people are still going through their 5 years at school without any kind of balanced kind of outlook as far as Africa and the Caribbean is concerned. So that's where I come in to try and fill in the gaps. So that's kind of my kind of self-imposed remit, because when you look at African studies provision in Oxford, you know, it's only the university that offers it, Oxford University, and at master's level, not at BA level. Brooks doesn't offer it, Ruskin doesn't offer it, Aberdeen and Whitney doesn't offer it, City College doesn't offer it. So there's a real dearth of kind of African studies provision. So kind of I'm just making sure that as far as the general public is concerned, there's something around.
And can you tell us what your most requested book is?
Most requested book? Wow. I couldn't really say. As far as genres concerned, it tends to be mainly short stories, and I say short stories, poetry, and biographies tend to be the main kind of genre that's requested. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So, when one walks into any bookshop on the African continent, self-help is always the largest section.
Okay.
Do you have, is that a genre that seems to be, that's not the need in Oxford?
Well, I just hope that when people come into this library, that it will generate within themselves a kind of self-help, as in all these books are here, so I should take advantage of them and raise my knowledge of the continent and the Caribbean. So as far as self-help is concerned, once people step in, I'm hoping it's going to generate something in them to improve their personal knowledge levels.
And can I ask you how this started? So you said it started during COVID, but it must have an earlier life.
The mobile library started during COVID, but the actual African School project started in 2009 after I came back from Ghana.
Okay.
And then I was just teaching in local community centres and in youth clubs, and then gradually kind of expanded into like schools and colleges and universities. So I've been lucky that I've been able to kind of interact in a kind of varied setting. Settings. Yeah. So I've done things kind of in the local youth club, as well as in the Clock House project, which is a local project for those over 50s. I've delivered workshops for the Oxfordshire Association for the Blind, for groups of those with learning difficulties. So just a wide range, and it's great to be able to kind of interact with such a kind of, just the general public at its kind of widest levels, really. Yeah.
Can you tell us something about what you did in Ghana and how long you were there?
Yeah, I was only there for a couple of weeks, and I went out there with a youth project, and we were working in a children's home in Kumasi.
Okay.
So, as you know, Kumasi is the second city there in Ghana, in the heartland of the Ashanti. So we were there kind of renovating a children's home. Yeah.
Let me think. Natty Mark, thank you so much for talking to us about your project. Is there anything else that you wanted to
just say that I'm at my happiest when teaching, and I love the remit that I've kind of imposed on myself to kind of spread as much knowledge about Africa. It continues to give me joy, and it's something that I will just continue doing as long as I can and wherever I'm invited to deliver.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your energy and your enthusiasm. You're literally mobile.
Bless you.
Thank you very much for also talking to us.
Thank you. Respect.